Alright guys, welcome back to another Rocket League video, and in this one we're going to have some fun talking about the top 15 exotic wheels. I wanted to do like a top 15 ranking video because there's a lot of exotic wheels and there's been a lot of changes since. I don't know if I ever did this one on my main channel, but I know we used to rate crates and stuff, so I figured we'd do it with the exotic wheels, go through the top 15 and what I think is the order for the top 15. Your order is probably going to be different, and if it is, comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, and also hit that like button down below if you enjoy these Rocket League videos on my second channel. I've been liking getting back into it. It's been fun. But without further ado, let's get into it with number 15. Yeah, number 15, starting it out here with Kalos. Now, this was a tough one to pick. There was a lot of wheels once it started to get into this range. The wheels are like, I'm not really sure about them. It was tough to pick some, but I think Kalos has some redeeming qualities. As much as it's a wheel that you don't see very much, kind of got a unique animation to it that sticks out a lot. I had gotten the Crimson Kalos way back when. Traded a ton of stuff for them, probably too much, but I have a special place in my heart for the Kalos, especially the Crimson ones were pretty cool. But after that, then you also have discotheques. Now again, these through like 15 to 10, it's a little bit tough to figure out where to put them, but the discotheques I think are one that deserve to be around this area. They're nothing crazy, but you know, there's some cool combinations you can make with them, so I think this spot fits in pretty well. They also have a cool animation. They're sort of like the loopers, but you know, some more unique colors, and they're a fun wheel to mess around with. So I think that deserves the number 14 spot. But then as we move on here, you've got the Dynamos, which for these I wasn't really sure where to put them. There's part of me that likes them and part of me that doesn't. I like the tread on them. I like the inside, how it's sort of more rounded. That's super unique. However, when you have like moving parts like that are like metallic and actual parts that seem to be moving on the wheel, that throws me off a little bit. I don't know if you guys like that. If you do, leave a comment down below. I'd be curious to see what you guys have to say about it. But for me personally, I don't know. I don't know if I like those mechanical things, but it is a unique wheel. It's got a unique animation to it, so I think it deserves the number 13 spot. Some of the painted variants are pretty cool as well, and honestly the default version is pretty cool too, in that sort of crimsonish color, that red color that so many people like, and yeah, so it's a pretty unique wheel. Deserves that number 13 spot. But getting into it here, we're starting to get into the good wheels. This one I think is a little bit of a unique choice, but the Reverb. Now the Reverb is a wheel that I never really see anybody using, but to me, I personally like it a ton because it goes so well with the Stormwatch decal. I'm sure you've seen me use this like a ton in my older videos, and recently even in some of my videos. The Stormwatch and Reverb combo, even the default Reverb with Stormwatch, looks so good, so I had to put it at this number because it's a personal favorite of mine. I like it quite a bit. That animation goes so nice with that decal. Keeping it going here though, you then have the Zoe Infinite, which are a pretty unique wheel, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to put these higher because there's like, I don't know, there's something about them that I'm not a huge fan of. I think it might be that there's a lot going on with them. The tread on them is pretty cool, and that sort of infinite mirror type effect going on with the inside is pretty cool, but I'm not sure about them. There's something about them that I'm not a huge fan of. And also, you know, some of the painted variants, I know that some people don't like them very much, so I mean, putting it at this spot I think, you know, works out. But some of you may have it higher, I don't know, but for me it's around a number, I think number 11, right? Yeah, that is number 11. So after this, we're getting into the top 10 with the Ragin, if that's how you pronounce it. Kind of a Ragin? I'm not sure. They always pick such interesting names for these exotics, but the Ragin are a super unique wheel, so I think it deserves the number 10 spot. It's not like a crazy good looking wheel that can go with a lot of different combos with like mystery decals and stuff like that, but for its uniqueness, I think it deserves the number 10 spot because there really is no wheel like it, especially the tread, how it's like segmented. It's very unique, and I kind of like that about it. So the Ragin I think deserves that number 10 spot, but there's not a ton I can say about it. You know, the animation isn't like super crazy or anything like that, so you know, number 10 is a good spot for it. Number 9 though, you have a bit of a classic, the Loopers. Now I had to put this somewhere in the middle because the Looper, it's a good looking wheel, it's a solid looking wheel, it's fairly simple, but it's nothing, you know, crazy, so it's a fairly average, again, in the middle exotic. So I think having it at number 9 is a good place for it. But again, I remember this from way back when. It was like the first exotic wheel I traded for. I think I got the orange variant, which I personally really liked, with like the orange heat wave, so it was it's got a special place in my heart, and I know a lot of you guys probably like the Loopers as well. But keeping it going here then with the Pyros. Now the Pyros is a super unique wheel, sorry, but yeah, it looks really good in the painted variants. Sort of reminds me of the Dracos a little bit, but it's got a solid flat side which goes good with painted variants of it. It's got a cool tread as well that goes good with, you know, different different combos. You can see it from the back, you know. When you have a wheel, you want to sort of see it from the back because you trade for this wheel. You want to see it a lot when you're playing with it. So, you know, having a wheel that has both the tread and a good, interesting animation on the side is definitely something to keep an eye out for. So, yeah. After that, then, I put the Wonderments up here just because, similar to the Pyros, you know, the Wonderments also have that unique tread and also the unique side, and it's a very solid side animation. Sort of like the titanium white zombas. I remember I traded for these, got them in titanium white, the Wonderments, because I sort of thought they were like the better looking zombas because the animation was similar to the zombas. It was a very solid side wheel animation, and on top of that, it had the unique tread, which I thought made it look super cool, so that's why I had to pick them up, and it does go good as a titanium white wheel. I like them a lot. It's a unique wheel. I don't think they're super expensive in terms of keys. I can't quite remember, but it also came within the, what was it, like the Christmas crate, something like that. So it was a unique crate to get these wheels from, but yeah, I like those ones quite a bit. Keeping it going here with the next one, though, you then have the Voltaics, which is a classic, and I pretty much had to include these on here just because of the Crimsonvoltaics. And the Crimsonvoltaics are not trading for very much anymore, but back in the day, I mean, man, the Crimsonvoltaics were the wheel to get. That was a classic, so it has to deserve a higher spot on this list just because of that, just because of the, well, again, classicness of the wheel, and it's a solid wheel. It was one of the first to have like a really unique tread that came painted too, so that's what made it, you know, super good. The animation on it was cool, it was unique, it looked good on a bunch of different combos, was a solid color as well for the painted variants, so I think it deserves that spot. But then after that, we are getting into it with the top 5, and for number 5, I decided to put the Reactors. Now, this might be a little bit of a decision a lot of you will disagree with, but I just think the side wheel animation is very unique. I like that effect to it. It looks good in titanium white, especially from the treads as well, which are very unique. But that animation is just, it's something special. I kind of like that sort of digital effect to it, as well as the, well, like electric type animation to it as well. It just looks really good, especially in painted variants like titanium white. It's a solid wheel to take a look at. But then after that, then you have number 4, where these are starting to get, you know, it took a little bit for me to decide which ones to put up here, but I think the Infiniums, for me personally, having the Infiniums at number 4 makes a lot of sense to me because it was such a unique wheel. I liked these so much. Maybe you guys don't like them as much as I do, but you know, having that infinite mirror type effect on the side of them was super cool. They looked good in titanium white. They probably weren't the best titanium white wheel, but again, it was just a super unique wheel. There was something about it I really liked. It was really clean, again, very unique, so I think it deserves that number 4 spot. Not quite top 3, but number 4, I think, you know, makes sense. But getting into it with the top 3, now this one, you know, some of you might disagree with this one, but I think just listen to me on this one, alright? The Zombas. I had to put these at number 3. Obviously, the titanium white Zombas are a classic. A ton of people like them. It's like the best titanium white wheel. It's such a clean item. I mean, yeah, it's got to be in at least the top 3, but the reason I put it at number 3 instead of like number 2 or number 1 is because of the other painted variants of it. Really, the only good versions of it are the titanium white and the black painted versions of it. As for the normal ones and the other painted variants, they're tough to use. They're tough to come up with combinations for. They're not super clean either. So that's why I decided to put it at number 3, because the other painted versions of these wheels aren't super clean. So you're pretty much stuck with those 2 main colors that a lot of people trade for. But then moving on here to number 2, you have the Centrows, which I think are a super clean wheel for pretty much one reason. Obviously, they look pretty good from the side, but the way that they come in like titanium white and the different colors looks super good on the Centrows. And actually, I forgot to say the reason that I also put the Zombas at number 3 is because it does not have a custom tread, whereas the Centrows have probably, if not the best custom tread out of all of the wheels. It is super bright. You can see it from when you're driving the car, and with wheels, a lot of the times, you know, you're seeing the wheel from behind, so having a custom tread that's super bright like with the Centrows looks really, really good. So that's why I decided to put it at number 2, because of that really awesome looking tread and solid looking side. But it's not quite as good as number 1, which you probably guessed it by now, but for me, it had to be the Dracos. I just think the Dracos, I always thought these were like one of the best wheels for multiple reasons. It was super cool. That fire effect was really just awesome. It goes super well with Heatwave, which is by far one of the best mystery decals, one of the most classic. The sides of it looks super cool with like the dragon head. And then the treads of it too are super bright and easy to see from behind. And on top of that, it looks good in pretty much every painted version you get of it, besides burnt sienna. But I mean like sky blue, titanium white, forest green, crimson, pretty much every painted variant of it looks amazing. So that's why I had to put it at number 1, because for me personally, it's probably my most favorite wheel when it comes to exotics. So yeah, guys, that is my list. Do you agree with it? Do you have some other wheels that you think should be on this list? Be sure to leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, guys. I'm planning on posting more videos here soon, so if you missed my older videos, subscribe here. And without further ado, let's jump into it with the outro.